What is up, lads? Welcome back to the final episode of my Absolutely Killing It series as the nation of Austria, and this is actually the first jump in time. I've actually jumped ahead about 100 years, guys, and as you can see, we've come a long way. This, for myself, guys, I didn't have any achievement or any real ambition in mind, as I've already conquered the world and gotten one faith and so on. But with that being said, I had a nice chill game, continuing to just crusade eastward. You can see me down there in the East Indies, having 7 merchants and counting. I'm going to dramatically gain more and more merchants going into the future, prospering in every fashion. Currently, just fighting a standard war against Morocco, and I just wanted to say a couple of things here before I end the series and we go to the focus of this last episode, and that is that some people might have seen the Liberty Desire on Tunis. There is a bit of an issue. I'm not going to lie, I had forgotten about it prior to revoking, and it's something I forget all too often, and that is if you have essentially any ordinary subject, i.e. like a vassal, and then you actually revoke, although the individual subjects within the empire do not share the combined forces as malice, the ordinary subject that you do, for example, say that you deploy vassalize the knights or something like that, they will actually have the entire HRE's forces combined taken into account, that they think the subjects are way too strong. Now, with that in mind, I actually thought that I would basically never stabilize Tunis. So you can see here, guys, that I have a Habsburg on the Polish throne, and that is not to be a surprise, as I have funded them forever, sponsored my heir. But right now, his government type just changed. His government type just changed, and this is the standard, guys, going in against Poland. Many people talking about, oh man, you need to wait until Poland forms the PLC. At this stage, guys, I have many deploy relations slots that I'm not using, and I was thinking about that myself, is that they need to own Danzig to form the PLC, and I just thought, why not just have two unions? It's no issue there. By actually PUing the Poles, I'm able to take Lithuania as well. Now, originally, guys, in my first video where I made this concept, the first video before the series, Austria, I actually was feeding them to the Holy Roman Empire, and a lot of people were asking, why don't I just wait and get a union over Poland? I'm happy to show that and demonstrate that here, but I just want you guys to take note that it's been 100 years. If you look at the state of France and so on, the only reason that these nations exist at all is because I'm trying to have them continue colonizing, and I'm wanting to actually utilize my absolutism and wait for the admin efficiency from tech to where I can fully annex them. There's no, in terms of time frame, or time constraint or points or anything like that, there is no reason for France or England to exist at all at this stage. I could have easily just annexed them. And the same goes for the PLC. And of course, feeding them to the Empire means inheriting it all for free, as opposed to having to wait 50 years and integrate it. So, as it turns out, guys, I wanted to demonstrate the fact that you can support an heir within the PLC, and you can actually PU a huge portion of land when they change government type. It is easily doable, and I wanted to demonstrate that here because I felt like I might as well. But it's not necessarily the best way to go. I do kind of stand by my initial decision of just, especially if you can prep it beforehand, especially if you can have, Pomerania, Brandenburg, the Teutonic Order, the Livonian Order, Bohemia, all collapsing on Poland as members of the Empire prior to them even being revoked. Do you know what I mean? If they're already, you're starting this process at a very early stage, that is kind of ideal. Now, when you consider the fact that you kind of want the PLC as an ally in the early game to help you against the Ottomans, it's not necessarily going to happen with any kind of real consistency, but I do find often that the PLC can decline pretty quickly, especially if they lose the Union. Either way, in my case, I'm going for the Union, and I will say that I think it's actually stronger on other nations that don't just, assuming you're having a good game, just inherit so much land for free, such as nations like Russia. Many people do not know that if you're playing Muscovy, one of the options you have is to just ally Poland. You can even do it the other way around. If you're playing the PLC, often you can ally Muscovy, but sometimes he will rival you. Anyway, the PLC is almost always friendly with you if you're Muscovy, and you can just ally him and just focus on wrapping around him, crusading, going for those religious ideas, whatever, crusading eastward, and then actually just getting that union at a later date by supporting your heir and going in once you're kind of stronger than him and one nice decisive victory. I definitely think that PUing Poland is something that all Europeans, like as a staple, like for example, if you play Hungary and the PLC is friendly with you at the beginning of the game, utilizing them against the Ottomans, crusading eastward, and ultimately PUing Poland. That should be sort of the main staple, but Austria is one of the few nations who is so powerful that, in fact, it could be more efficient to just gobble them up, especially, like I said, if you can prep it beforehand. But back before I end this episode to what I was talking about earlier, and that is the fact that I thought once I vassalized Tunis and formed the Holy Roman Empire via revoking, having all of those subjects, and his liberty desire was basically at 100, I actually thought I was never going to be able to stabilize him until much later on in the game. Now, not too much of an issue because one subject is, it doesn't matter. It doesn't matter if somebody supports his independence or anything like that. But I just want to say, for those of you who care, I was wrong. And the way that I was wrong is basically paying him off with prestige. Now, it turns out that, especially after owning holy cities and so on and so forth, and having, the +1 yearly prestige as being the emperor and taking +1 yearly prestige from the Pope. I kid you not, guys. Right now, do you see my prestige is about 65, and I was gaining between 4 and 5, because for those of you who don't know, it actually reduces the higher you get in prestige. But I was gaining about 4 or 5 prestige per year, and meaning every couple of years or so, just dropping that prestige into my subjects. And with that in mind, not only was I able to stabilize Tunis, I actually felt comfortable enough to vassalize Scotland and Brittany and stabilize them all. So extremely overpowered. The sheer amount of prestige I was getting, enabling me to just deal with vassals, no big deal. Comically enough, I actually, like I said, I genuinely didn't think I was going to be able to, because basically if you vassalize anything, they just get -100 liberty desire instantly, because it compares the entire empire's forces against your own. But I thought I would let you guys know that. The key obviously is going to be paying off their debt if they accumulate debt, especially if you feed them. It's definitely plausible. But yeah, also just jamming that prestige into them periodically. So it's been a nice long series, guys, and I really hope, I've got a lot of positive feedback and pretty good viewer retention and stuff like that as well. So I just want to thank everybody for watching this series, and I hope that you enjoyed. Obviously, the series is a bit unique on my channel in the way that it's sort of edited and so on, and I'm definitely going to continue to do similar things, maybe not exactly the same, hopefully approved and adapted on going into the future. But yeah, again, I just want to have a big thank you to those guys, and I wanted to show you a glimpse of like how glorious your game can be. I'm such a savage. I really enjoyed this game, the way that I'm like kind of like Austria. If I'm not sure you can get a good look, but I'm kind of pushing all the way through Anatolia into the sort of Iranian region, and it feels nice being like one big, powerful, unified country while also having the vassal swarm to abuse and making those colonies a lot of fun. And unfortunately, I wasn't able to pump out the series fast enough before the new patch. The new patch for me, as the time of recording this, has just come out. So, there's going to be a little bit of overlap in terms of uploading and so on and so forth. But I really hope that this series, or at least the main focus of it, the aspects of it, are kind of retained in the new content. Hopefully there's not too many changes that really reduce the value of the series. But that's yet to be determined. Either way, guys, I'm going to be sure to make content, of course, on my channel with the new patch, and that's the Rule Britannia patch, of course. And yeah, once again, just really appreciate you guys being here, and I hope you had a good time. This is Budget Monk going to be signing off for our Absolutely Killing It as Austria playthrough, and I think it is safe to say that we absolutely killed it. What do you guys think? Let me know in the comments below. Appreciate you.